There has been a ban on something known as foie gras here in California.
Foie gras.
So, all right, look, let me just, I need to make sure you guys have this disclaimer ahead of time. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly. Just calm down, you know what it is, okay? It's fatty duck liver that they make into a pate, and like rich people love to eat it.
Right, and you can tell rich people eat it because it's called foie gras. Okay. Foie gras. Okay.
Now, I've never tried it. I heard that it is delicious, and I've always been kind of curious about it. However, the ban, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. So let me give you some details on it. It's basically liver that has been enlarged 10 times the normal size, right?
Yeah, I bet that's healthy.
And it's enlarged by basically force-feeding birds so their livers swell up. And they force-feed them through a tube, and it's usually some sort of fatty material that'll fatten them up as much as possible. And some of the ducks actually die as a result of it because they'll regurgitate and they'll choke on their own vomit.
Now, the counter-argument is some of the top chefs, who of course make money from this and are biased, but they say, look, these ducks don't have the same gag reflex that human beings do, and the feeding is done in 10-second intervals. It's not that big of a deal. It happens in nature as well from time to time if they overeat. So you're making a big deal out of it, and besides, it's our choice. If it bothers your conscience, don't eat it. Okay, but if it doesn't bother my conscience, let me eat it. So what do we need? I think we need a little TYT Supreme Court action on this. Jesus, drop it. Should foie gras, I don't know why I'm saying it as if someone is mentally challenged, but anyway, be banned or not banned? I'm really split on this. Look, the reason I'm split on it is, look.
Are you split on it because we torture almost every other animal we eat?
Yeah.
I mean it's
so
a little inconsistent to target this one practice as opposed to all the other things that we do to the animals that we eat. But at the same time, I like the idea of regulating this industry so these ducks are not tortured. For instance, what the hell is the difference between these the force-fed ducks and the regularly fed ducks? Like, why don't we not force feed them and just make pate out of their normal liver?
Oh,
is it not as delicious? Can't we mix in the fat later? I don't understand. Like, I'm stupid on this issue because I haven't actually eaten.
You're so not upper class. And the upper class realize that any animal that's been tortured obviously tastes more delicious.
Right.
Okay. So now, look, on the one hand, as I was saying, I get chicken that's a free range, right?
Right.
I hope that they're telling the truth. And I pay a little bit more for that. And I say, okay, now if you like the chicken or the eggs that have been tortured, that's your business, not my business. I'd like to move you in that direction, but I'm not going to force it on you. On the other hand, it's a good start. I mean, this is a very obvious case where we're kind of torturing these poor ducks. And they're not human beings, but do they have, are we right to be morally concerned about their well-being nonetheless? I think, yeah. I don't want it to be a slippery slope, but this seems a pretty clear example. So I'm torn. Justice Jackson, help me out.
Completely. It's easy. Open and closed case. Of course it should be banned. There's other laws and stuff that's banned. I mean, there's shark fin. I heard about shark fin soup. Just cut off the fins and let the sharks sit at the bottom of the ocean and die. Yeah. It's illegal in some places.
They're freaking sharks.
But it's torturing animals whichever way you want to look at it. And it's all illegal. It should be, at least.
All right. Jesus Godoy, Chief Justice. Legal or illegal?
I'm with Jayar. It should be illegal. I think I read too that the ducks do have a gag effect. It's not like it's normal, and it's like you're water torturing the duck. Some guy put it in that sense that it's like water torturing the ducks. So once you put it in that terms, it's very.
Yeah, once we realize we got the poor ducks in Guantanamo Bay, then us liberals start to waver on this a little bit. And look, the chefs are so full of it. I mean, I read all their defenses, and they're like, what? It's no big deal. You just open it up, you shove it down there, it's fine, they're good, ducks.
Okay, so speaking of the chefs, I want to make sure that we mention some of the downfalls of this law, this new law in California, because there are so many things that are kind of unclear about it. For instance, how do you regulate this, right? So how are officials going to be able to tell the difference between the foie gras or the force-fed duck from a regularly fed duck?
Okay.
that has like a normal liver and everything is fine, right? And then also another thing is in Chicago they had a similar ban between 2006 and 2008. And basically what the chefs did, because you cannot sell foie gras, is they would give it out for free to their customers, but they would charge them $20 for the cracker that they would put the foie gras on.
Come on, that's clever. So, and by the way, even in California, they say they're not really going to enforce it. When the cops are asked, they're like, yeah, that would be the last on my priority list of things to enforce. I get it. So you know what, though? Ironically, that's going to swing me in the opposite direction. And I'm going to John Robertson, he swung me. The liberals swung me, okay? And I'm going for the ban. And I'll tell you why. Because it's a good first step. It's not going to have much of a real effect. But what it's going to do is say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should care about our environment, meaning the things that are around us, including animals. And maybe we shouldn't torture them so that we can enjoy one particular dish just a tiny bit more. And if it spreads the veal, good. I don't mind it spreading to veal, right? And I don't want to get to be so subjective that, hey, are you sure that the cow had a proper couch to sit on while you were milking him? No, okay, but we really torture the living crap out of these animals. And I think that we need to get to a point where we can live with ourselves. And I bet you if you showed the videos of any of this stuff and then you took the vote, almost every one of those pieces of legislation would pass saying ban, 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 right? Whether it's how we do the veal, how we do the foie gras, and or even some of the conditions we keep our chicken, pigs, etc. So I vote for the ban.